on the subject of your competitors, like the more centralized VPN services like ExpressVPN and NordVPN, let's get into like the architecture a little bit. Like, how are those VPN services set up, and how is that different from a decentralized VPN standpoint, and kind of what are the trade-offs there as well?
Orchid is sort of a permissionless system where, we let anybody run a server. Right now we have, with a VPN, you want people that run fast servers, right? That have big bandwidth connections, because you're literally going to send your internet traffic through them. So Orchid, we actually started with kind of our preferred providers. And so we have like a network of professional VPN providers that we set up in a sort of decentralized way. And so when you connect to Orchid, when you kind of like set up an Orchid account, we actually have a fiat gateway in the app as well, which I think if you saw my presentation at Mainnet, I was like, hey, you can actually buy crypto inside of like 30 seconds and actually have your money converted. We use the Gnosis chain actually for that, just because the stable coin, because we figure there's a lot of people that don't really understand crypto and don't want the value to sort of fluctuate. And so, the only drawback is that, because we do know KYC, is that the money is like a prepaid gift card. So you can like only spend it with our preferred providers. So, but anyways, that's just sort of like a payment system. To get back to kind of like your question of like how we sort of differ is, Nord has Nord has a couple thousand servers, and, you're going to get access to kind of their system, and you're going to pay a subscription. I think that most of the VPN market for the centralized providers is kind of a scam, because, you're paying for this monthly fee or whatever, and you just forget about it. And it's just like another one of those like monthly charges, and maybe you're not really using it that much. But you're also like kind of trusting this one provider. So a VPN is an advantaged position. Like they can see your traffic, they can see who you are, and they can see what you're connecting to. And that's why it's so important that these VPN companies come out and say, well, we don't log anything, right? Because they can see both sides of that spectrum. How Orchid's a little bit different is, first of all, so we have not just one provider, right? We have multiple providers. So we have 4 or 5 in just the preferred provider network alone. And you kind of randomly, we have stake-weighted random selection. So those providers have to stake OXT on Ethereum. And the more they stake, the more likely you are to connect to that provider. And so that sort of incentivizes them to stake more token, which kind of shows that they're, serious about the network and everything. So there's like good incentive alignment effects that happen with the stake-weighted random selection.